Hi, welcome to today's webinar. I'm Mark Raven from KaiNexus. I'll be playing host today, and I'm really excited with the opportunity here. A few months back, one of our KaiNexus customers, it was actually Simon DeCastro, who presented a webinar earlier this year in English. He suggested that it would be good to have somebody present a webinar in Spanish. That's Simon's first language. And we got introduced to Albanesa, Ymaya, who's going to be our presenter today. The live webinar that she's going to present on December 6th will be in Spanish. And today we're recording the English language version for people like myself who don't speak Spanish. But we're really excited that we get to share this content with a broader audience. And let me now introduce our presenter, Albanesa Ymaya. She is coming to us, and she is from the Dominican Republic. She is the founder, president, and CEO of Ymaya Lean Academy, Inc. With more than 17 years as an industrial engineer, working with lean transformations in the manufacturing sector, both medical devices and electronics, she has a post-degree in quality and productivity management. She's certified in many things, including being a Lean Six Sigma Black Belt. Albanesa has more than 17 years as a professor at institutes and universities. She's trained more than 6,000 people in Latin America, the Caribbean, the United States, and Europe. She's had many roles. She's led different lean transformations in countries including the Dominican Republic, Mexico, and the United States. She's managed project portfolios of more than $10 million and has received multiple international awards, including Lean Coach of the Year, Lean Plant of the Year, and an Operations Excellence Award. And more recently, she started to support an effort, a nonprofit called the Love and Kindness Foundation, which was founded by Karen Ross, who many of you may know from the Lean community. Albanesa has the role of Caribbean Region Director. So thank you, Albanesa, for supporting those important efforts, and very excited to turn it over to you for your presentation.
Thank you, Mark, really, for the invitation. Really, I'm very happy to be here with all of you, sharing some of my experience in the Lean journey. And thank you so much to JJ Puentes also for all the support in this process in order to be totally ready for today. So thank you so much. So today, we are going to cover different topics as part of this webinar. We are going to talk about, some general definitions to refreshments for some of you, other definitions that maybe will be new, brand new for some of you. I'm going to talk about the goals for improvement for each one of these approaches for Kaikaku and Kaizen Events. Also, I'm going to share the different common themes and differences between the approaches. In addition to that, I'm going to share the benefits came from each one of these approaches in a very visual way, and also explain why really I recommend first Kaikaku and later to continue the journey with Kaizen Events and others continuous improvement and methodology. And finally, at the end of the process, I'm going to share the formula that I have been using as part of the different lean transformation process that I manage. So now it's very important that we open really our mind, in order to receive the new knowledge that is part of this material. So why I say that? Because as Mark mentioned before, the more common concepts, known into the lean practitioners and in different companies, it's really Kaizen Event, more than Kaikaku. So in this part, it's very important to be willing to receive, the new knowledge that we have prepared for today. So let's start first, really with the different general definitions. We have some general definition with the intentions, to get a better understanding of the different topics that we are going to share today with all of you. So let's start. As you can see here, we have the general and the most common definition for Kaizen. What is Kaizen? As you know, or maybe no, but most of you I know that know that Kaizen is a Japanese word that literally means change for the better. Yeah, change for the better. This is the more common definition for Kaizen, but also we have included this very good definition from Masaki Imai, who is considered the father of continuous improvement, and he is author of Kaizen and Genbat Kaizen books. So please let me read literally what Masaki Imai said. Masaki might say that Kaizen means improvement. Moreover, it means continued improvement in personal life, home life, social life, and working life. When applied to the workplace, Kaizen means continued improvement involving everyone, managers and workers alike. So this final part is very, very important, yeah, to highlight, involving managers and workers alike. So after refreshing these terminologies or this definition from Kaizen, I'm going to present the fourth type of Kaizen because, as already know, yeah, we know that Kaizen in a short way is improvement, but maybe you don't know that there are four types of Kaizen or four types of continuous improvement methodology. That this is the first part that I want to share with all of you today. So these are Kaizen Teian, Kaizen Event, yeah, the more known, Kaikaku and Kakushin. So what is a Kaizen Teian? Kaizen Teian is about people suggestion, yeah? It's very known like a people idea, a people suggestion. This is from the individual that has the possibility to implement his own improvement, you know, in the workplace. So the Kaizen Teian is really important to support a continuous improvement culture, and also the Kaizen Teian help a lot of to create that we call it a autonomous team, yeah, due to the empowerment that we give to the individual as part of the continuous improvement culture. So the other Kaizen type is Kaizen Event. So Kaizen Event is a continuous improvement activity that is formed from different individuals that came from different area, a multifunctional team, including, you know, people from different roles, managers, operators, engineers, supervisors, etc., with the intention to improve one single process. Yeah, this is the first intention of Kaizen event, to improve just one process or just to address one issues as part of the process or to improve one single indicator. So Kaizen event also is well known like a Kaizen bliss. This is other definition of Kaizen event. Yeah, we call it like a Kaizen bliss. The other Kaizen is Kaikaku. What is Kaikaku? So Kaikaku really means, in a short definition, radical change. When we talk about Kaikaku, we are talking about to change or to redesign a complete system. Yeah, it's very, very different to Kaizen event because, as already explained, Kaizen event, the focus is to improve one single process. So Kaikaku looks, yeah, to transform and to change one completed process from point A to point B. Yeah, it's very important this difference about this terminology. So Kaizen even looks, you know, very incremental or gradual improvement. Kaikaku looks a radical change. Other part here is when we talk about a Kaizen event, in most of the cases, the Kaizen event just use one lean tools or continuous improvement, tools in order to address the situations. The more commons are 5S, TPM, task balancing, value add, no value add analysis, SME, etc. So while Kaikaku really, in difference to Kaizen event, Kaikaku use the combination of all lean tools, strategies, and methodologies that are needed, and also complemented with any Six Sigma tools that we needed in order to get the transformation of the process. Yeah. Kakushin, what is Kakushin? Kakushin is similar really to Kaikaku, yeah, because both of them, both Kaikaku and Kakushin are radical change, but Kakushin is more about innovation, yeah. When we talk about Kaikaku, we are talking about to change the way of how the things are done. When we talk about Kakushin, we are talking about to change how it's doing, yeah, how it's doing, what is done. For example, when we talk about Kaikaku, Kaikaku could be, for example, to change from manual process to automated process, yeah. What could be Kakushin? Kakushin, in the same way, could be to print 3D the raw materials that will be used, for example, for this process. And Kakushin is more linked to innovation, is to change, yeah, what is doing totally, yeah. Kaikaku change how the things are doing. Kakushin change what is done, yeah. So and what is the reason that Kaikaku and also Kakushi in this case are not well known in the community or in the company? So I think that based on my experience, I can tell that maybe this happened due to the complexity that is as part of the Kaikaku process, or maybe because in some cases it's missed or misunderstood, the scope of the Kaikaku or Kaizen event. I think this is the reason of why maybe just the lean practitioners has been more focused to work with Kaizen event. So now let's continue really talking about the goal for improvement of its approach. So let's see. And what is the goal? The goal really for Kaikaku and Kaizen event, because previously we talked, about the four types of Kaizen, but from now, really, I'm going to be very focused just about the comparison of Kaikaku and Kaizen event. And what is the principal goal? The principal goal for each one of the approaches is to improve. But what is the difference? The difference is the scope of the improvement, because Kaizen event, as already explained, has the scope, as a scope is just to improve one problem, one issue, one single, process. While the scope for Kaikaku, is to improve a lot of opportunity at the same time, impacting really the 5 key indicators that are present in any company. The 5 key indicators present in any company are the safety, the quality, the cost, the delivery, and the people. Yeah, so it is very important to understand that part. Yeah, because in short, if somebody asks you what is the goal is to improve, but the dimensions, the magnitude of improvement is totally really different. So, and now after understanding what is the goal, let's continue that part, talking about what is common and what is different. As you know, there are a variety really of things in common between Kaikaku and Kaizen event as well as differences. So, but first, let's start talking about the common themes for these approaches. So, these common themes really that I have here came from my experience. Yeah, from my experience, I put in some of the common themes that I know that has between these approaches, between Kaikaku and between Kaizen event. The first common thing is that both approaches follow a structured methodology, a PDCA cycle or the main. Yeah, PDCA, plan, do, check, and act. And the main, define, measure, analyze, improve, and control. They need accurate data to support the effectiveness of the process. Yeah, as you know, for any activities to improve, it's very important to have accurate data. Without data or without measurement, it's impossible really to improve. So also, Kaikaku and Kaizen Event are supported by multifunctional team as other continuous improvement activity as well. It requires leadership and commitment. It demands employee training in lean concepts and principles in order, to have a better flow of the process from the beginning until the end. It's expected really from the employee that they are willing to change and promote the change. This is expected from its employees that is part of each one of these continuous improvement activities based on transparency and honesty. Here really is very, very, very important, and I wanted to highlight, that part, based on transparency and honesty to expose issues and find the best solution, yeah? As any continuous improvement activity without transparency also, it's impossible to improve, yeah? If we hide the problem, never you are going to be, on the way to improve. It's very important that. The other part that is common between Kaikaku and Kaizen event is that one of the key results expected from the people is the involvement and the development. Yeah, that is part, obviously, of this one of approaches. Use people idea as the best sources of problem resolutions and innovation, and the best way to run each one is through the team. Yeah, the teamwork is also a foundation to be successful in each one of these continuous improvement methodology as well as any other activities that we are doing. Okay, after reviewing, the different common things that are between Kaikaku and Kaizen events. So let me really start with explaining the differences between Kaikaku and Kaizen event. Also, these differences came from my experience, from the knowledge that I have in this environment. I know there could be more differences, but I put in the principles that I'm very sure, that are between these approaches. The first one, as you can see in this chart, this is the first differences, the biggest differences. As you can see, yeah, we have the representation here. We have the gain, impact, or benefit in this place. And also, we have the impact benefit here, yeah, and we have the time and we have the effort. So what is the biggest difference here? The biggest difference is related to the impact versus, the effort. And you can see in the chart, in the same time, I'm comparing the Kaizen event versus Kaikaku, or also transformation process or lean transformation that some people call. At the same time, we have the Kaizen event requires less effort than Kaikaku, obviously. For that reason, in the other part, we have the Kaikaku request, more effort, but at the same time, you can receive more benefit from the process, more impact, more gain. This is the first differences between that part. So let's continue reviewing the other part. Other differences found is related to the 10th commandment that governs each one of these approaches. We have really this here, one of the Kaikaku commandments and Kaizen commandment. In some of them, as you can read, some of them are really a little similar, and others are stay in different way. Kaikaku commandment comes from Hiroyuki Irano, and the Kaizen commandments are taken from Gemba Academy videos. So the some of the commandment that I want to highlight is, for example, the first one related to Kaikaku is, to stop thinking about traditional concepts of manufacturing methodology. The Kaizen commandment, the first one is open, your mind to change. We need to be willing really to change. So other ones, a commandment that I want to highlight is that for me in Kaikaku, don't spend money. Don't spend money on Kaikaku, because in my experience, when we talk about transformations or radical change, in some cases, I have faced some people that really understand that this means that we need to spend a lot of money in order to get this radical change, the transformation of the process. Really, a lot of people don't believe that it's possible to complete an Kaikaku or lean transformation, spending a little money, really. In most of the cases, really, in my experience, I can assure you that the transformation that I has been working on has required really a little investment, because as other of the commandment, other of the commandment is to use the creativity, like here. We have here in the Kaizen commandment, we have use creativity, not capital, so I really, if you compare, I really saw similar on the meaning of each one. So it's very really interesting, because the last one say Kaikaku knows no limits, and the Kaizen commandment said there is no destination on the improvement journey. So the statements are different, but really the meaning of each one of the commandment, I can say that are equal, from the meaning of things. So other good difference really related to Kaizen and Kaikaku approaches is related to the general structure that each one of the approaches follow. So I have put in here a little chart, for each one of the structure in order to represent the differences. So the first one is the Kaizen event general structure. You can see we have like a similar to cycle. Really, it's not cycle. It's like a similar. We have input, we have global process, and we have output expected. Here, I want to say that related to inputs, the inputs are the same for Kaizen event and for Kaikaku. Are the same inputs required. What is difference between the approaches is the magnitude and the effort related to KPI information. We have in both structure, we have KPI information as an input required, but the differences is related to the magnitude of the analysis and the effort that we needed in each one of them based on, of the scope. So in general, we have for inputs, we have leadership support. We need a core team about 8-10 people. This is the average. In some cases, we can have 12 people, but it's not the most common, not the most recommendation. Really, the size of the team recommended is about this number, 8, 10 people from multifunctional area. We need training material to be used as part of the event development. We need office supply. We need, as I mentioned, KPI information, data, real data. We need lean SME, subject matter expert, in order to lead the process and to teach, any lean principles, any lean tools, methodologies that the team need in order to run correctly the process. This Lean SME could be an OPEX leader, could be a Kaizen event leader, a training or certified, we need a work room according to the need. So let me tell you something. This could seem like irrelevant, this point, but in my experience, really, it's very important also to have a space, prepared to run and Kaizen or continuous improvement activity. This gives to the team really the opportunity to run in a correct way, in an easy flow of the process and help in the effectiveness, and in the cycle time of the activity. It's very important, that point also. Food and drinks to support, the team during the activities. The global process is divided in three principal parts. The pre-event plan, that it have cycle time in average of 15 or 30 days. It will depend, the company or the process. The event development for Kaizen event, as you know, is around 3 to 5 days, a full day, 8 hours per day. Most of the Kaizen event really run using 5 days. In little cases, some Kaizen events use 3 days. It will depend the process and the company, but the more normal is to use a 5 completed day to run really the Kaizen event. This step also is known as the Kaizen event week, And the last part is the action plan completion, that in average it take 30 days, This part is important also to say that from a Kaizen event week, it's expected that we, complete all the process, included the implementation of some improvement. But the reality is that in most of the cases, a lot of activities still stay, keep pending. And for that reason, we have the horizon of 30 days, calendar day, to complete any action that was not possible to implement during the Kaizen event week. As output, what is the principal output expected for any Kaizen event is, the issue or the problem eliminated or improved, have more engagement from the people, from the employees, best practices shared in different areas, employee training, that is part of the cultural, saving and cost reduction. So I put in this saving and cost reduction as last because, as you know, the principal objectives in any really continuous improvement activity is not cost reduction from the beginning. It's not supposed to be cost reduction. It's supposed to be a cultural change, But as part of the process, we receive some benefit cost reduction as well. So the Kaikaku structure, let's see the Kaikaku structure. As you know, it's very similar. It's similar just in the inputs part, but I mentioned before the differences. It's very different related to global process about the timings, about the management role, about the magnitude and the effort. And also, it's very different related to the action plan phase, here is like a equal, just the KPI information, magnitude and effort is different. And here, the pre-event, as you can know, the pre-event for the Kaikaku request in less 15 day, full day, 8 hours, every day, The event development also requires 15 day, 8 hours, and the transformation process in average requests from 60 days to 180 days. But let me also say, based on the practice, it will depend on differences. It will depend of leadership, will depend the core team commitment, it will depend the company's, priority. In some cases, Kaikaku could take until 1 year, until 12 months to be totally completed. But in average, it's expected to close the Kaikaku process between 60 days and 180 days. This is the expectation based on the experience, And the difference output, totally different from Kaizen events, are some of them here. We have improved operational performance, a stable production environment, improves the gross margin from the company, improves flow, different kind of flow, has completed different project or Kaizen, because Kaikaku also, we can say that Kaikaku is like the compilation of a lot of Kaizen activities. And the other points are common with Kaizen, even as already explained. So let's continue talking about the differences between these approaches. So this is the last differences that I have here. It's very critical, it's important. These differences is related to leadership. In this case, leadership of company are more open to start with Kaizen event rather than to start with Kaikaku. Why this happens? So I can tell you that this happened for different reasons, and some of them are maybe lack of understanding of its approach, misunderstanding of the scope of its one, the fear to confront, to do things totally different. The belief of Kaikaku requests a lot of money or a lot of resources in order to be successful. And the belief also that step by step is better to create really anchors. So, but the experience told me that the best way is totally really different. That is the one of the last part that I'm going to explain. So let's continue now talking about the benefits. So as you know, the benefits is improved. But improves what? We need to improve productivity. So Kaizen event and Kaikaku also improve productivity in general as a whole from for any organization. So, but the magnitude of the impact in the each one are totally different. So I want to use this representation. Really, I like a lot of to use a visual representation to explain the meaning of this thing. So I have putting the one apple to represent the Kaizen event benefit, and the apple tree to represent the Kaikaku benefit. And what this mean? This means that when you run a Kaizen event, you are going to receive just one apple as a benefit from all the universe or from all the possibilities that you have into your organization, into your processes. The other part, when you run and Kaikaku and Lean transformation, you are going to receive the whole apple trees. You are going to receive all the possible benefits that are present, in your process. This is the biggest, difference about benefits from Kaikaku and for Kaizen even. So let's see. Let's continue that part, sorry, talking about kids' benefits from Kaikaku. I wanted to give more information about Kaikaku because, as previously mentioned, we know that Kaizen even looks to improve one process from all of the that I have here. But at Kaikaku looks to improve all the process at the same time, giving you a major really impact. Yeah. As I mentioned when I start the presentation, the Kaikaku really impact at the same time these five indicators that you have in your company. Yeah, we have safety, we have quality, sorry, we have delivery, cost, and people. Into each one of these indicators, we have a lot of improvement that came from Kaikaku. And here I put just some of the improvement that came from after Kaikaku completion. So we have accident and incident decrease, ergonomy improve, fatigue reduction into the safety indicator. So into the quality, we have also a lot of improvements. Some of them here, discrepancies, discrete complaints, customer complaint, very important, decrease, process material rejects reductions. And the end, you are going to have the total quality cost really reduction. Yeah, a lot of improvement came from Kaikaku activity. Into the delivery, the delivery time is improved, the lead time is reduced. We create flow of material, yeah, flow for the process, and also flow of the information. As part of the costing area, we have a lot of benefit also. Labors, material variance, the cost per unit of the product, overtime, all the waste reduction, yeah, overtime reduction, inventory levels reduction, space, energy, spare part consumption, etc., etc., etc. Into the people area, you have also major benefits, and one of the biggest is the behavior improve for the people. That is the key, yeah, to be successful, yeah, and to be and to sustain the continuous improvement culture in any organization. We have people involved in grief, education of the people talent. People talent development is improved also, at the end, all this, has the biggest benefit, that is the culture. The culture improves. So let's continue after that part. Really, after explaining that, I want to tell you why I say that Kaikaku activity could be first than Kaizen event. Because maybe, I don't know, I'm not sure, but maybe you are thinking about that. Okay, Albanesa now is talking to me that I need to stop to doing Kaizen event and to start thinking to start with Kaikaku and forget Kaizen event activities. No, this is not the message. Yeah, the message is not to stop doing Kaizen. No, the message is that you need both. Yeah, really, you need both of the Kaizen activity. Yeah, the only that I'm recommending is start before with Kaikaku and later, continue the transformation with Kaizen event activity. And let me explain that using this picture also. Yeah. As I say, Kaikaku and Kaizen event are not mutually really exclusive. Yeah. In this picture, I put in this funny picture to explain why I say that. Here, the change from junior to senior, represent the Kaikaku. That is the radical change. That is the revolutionary, activities. While the Kaizen event here is represented by the circle, that provides to this senior, the atmosphere for continuous improvement, Kaikaku gives you radical change, radical impact, move the process from point A to point B in a radical way. And why this is important? As you can know in the other picture, when you have the five fire, and we have the five fire, it's not the same to try, to suffocate the fire using just your hand, that is the Kaizen, a little, instead of to use Kaikaku. So the idea is to, when you are in front of opportunity, you need to act, to broken all the opportunity and to attack all the opportunity at the same time. In order to create the momentum, you need to create the momentum to give to the people really the flavor of what is about continuous improvement. If you start first using a Kaizen event, in some cases, the people really don't see the impact immediately. This is one of the why I recommend before to use Kaikaku, in order to create this momentum, this impact for the organization, for the business, and for the people. It's like to create a continuous improvement showroom. When you complete Kaikaku, you create a continuous improvement showroom that gives to the company, to the leadership, and to its employee the confidence that continuous improvement really has good thing for everybody, for company and for people. And after you complete Kaikaku, immediately you need to continue the progress of the transformation throughout Kaizen event in order to create the culture of continuous improvement and to create the sustainability of the process. This is the why really I recommend, based on my experience, start first with Kaikaku and later continue with Kaizen events activities. So Kaikaku, as I mentioned, is totally revolutionary. It's radical change. So Kaizen event is, is incremental change. It's a step by step. And it's very recommended use Kaizen event to create the sustainability of the process. So let me now share really the method that I has been used as part of the completion of transformation for the process. I start talking about this for a type of Kaizen, And during the presentation, I was focused just to compare Kaikaku with Kaizen event. But the reality is that in order to complete that, I call it the real lean transformation, I recommend to use this formula in this way, We need to use the Kaikaku first, followed by Kaizen event, followed by Kaizen Teian and Kakushin. In some cases, some of them happen at the same time, and it's okay. But always, based on my experience, we need to start with Kaikaku. The formula also includes to be focused on these three parts, people, product, and process. That I call it the 3P LT. What is that? The 3P, people, product, process, lean transformation. The 3P LT process transformation. We need to transform not just the process. We need to transform people, and we need to transform also product. So this is for me really an excellent formula to transform any kind of process or business. Obviously, it requires a lot of leadership, commitment, support, belief. That is very important. We need to believe in all these continuous improvement activities, yeah, in order to be successful. Let me present this example. When you use a Kaikaku, this is just an example from a real Kaikaku implemented to present you the after use this formula, Kaikaku, Kaizen Event, Kaizen Teian, and Kakushin, you can really get a lot of good things. Yeah, you can have more with less. Yeah, more people focus, more people development. Yeah, in order to have a better process with less resources, less complexity, less problem, less issues, yeah, less machine, less space, less waste. So it is very really easy to see the impact. Yeah, we have here a process before to start the transformation with a lot of complexity. And after, yeah, this picture is an after, but this is the after of the transformation on the beginning. What I'm saying that really after some months, the process really looks better and better and better, yeah, for the learning curve of the process also. As you can know, after Kaikaku or lean transformation using the formula, we have a lot of benefit, yeah. A focus on the 3P, yeah, focus on people, focus on process, and focus on product. So business really are like a butterfly, yeah. First, they need transformation, and later sustainability. And for that reason, yeah, the best approach is Kaikaku first and Kaizen even later, yeah. Kaikaku gives you the transformation, and Kaizen even gives you the sustainability process that you need, yeah, to create the cultural change. So thank you so much for your attention. Really hoping that this webinar add value to each one of you. So, any question?
Well, thank you, Albanesa. We'll do a few announcements, and then I have a couple questions. And if people attend live on December 8th, the audience will be able to ask questions. A couple of quick announcements. We have upcoming webinars. If you are a KaiNexus customer, you can attend the next training team office hours with Adam and Matt on December 3rd. And we don't have dates or registration open yet, but to give a bit of a preview, I'm very excited that the first three 2021 webinars are lined up. In January, we're going to have Stephanie Hill presenting. In February, Scott Bergmeyer. This is going to be a follow-up to a webinar that he did a couple of months back. And then in March, Deandra Wardell is going to be presenting about Toyota Kata. So we're going to have a lot of different interesting themes coming up in 2021. And we hope you'll join us for those webinars as we get into the new year. If this is your first time viewing a KaiNexus webinar, we have a huge continuous improvement webinars on demand library. I never know the number off the top of my head. There are dozens, maybe 100 past webinars in the library. They're all free. You can find the recordings at kainexus.com/webinars. We invite you to check out our blog, which is at blog.kainexus.com. And we invite you to subscribe to our podcast. So the audio from all of the webinars, including today's with Albanesa, and we'll, I think, do the same with the Spanish version. These are in our podcast feed. You can find it through Apple, Google, Stitcher, Spotify, pretty much any place you find podcasts. And you can see we've got Albanesa's web and email addresses on screen. Maybe it's just a couple of questions for you, Albanesa. As you work in different countries, How often do you find resistance to the different Japanese words? Do you ever get asked to translate it into Spanish or other languages?
Yeah, a lot of all the time, really. This is the more normal to find, the resistance, not just to the terminologies, also to the lean process, the continuous improvement, a journey. The more normal is to find resistance, no matter really the country. The level of resistance will be different, and really, in my experience, it will not depend of the country. It will depend of the leadership.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it will depend of the leadership of its company, because I have worked in different companies in the same country, but the resistance level is different totally from one to other. In my thinking, really, I understand that is totally linked to the leadership.
Okay, thanks. One other question here. You recommend that teams for Kaizen events or Kaikaku activity are between 8 to 10 people, but sometimes you might want more people if you want representatives from different job functions or departments. What's some of the risk of having a larger team from your experience, Albanesa?
Yeah, when you have, it is okay. So you wanted to have, as I mentioned, really, I have managed a team a little biggest. 15 on the more biggest has been 20 people really.
Mhm.
But when you have, in some cases, when you have a lot of people, you can lose in some scenarios the scope, yeah, and the focus on some of the member. This is unreality. It's like when you are in the college and the university, yeah. When you have a biggest a team, you need more resources to support you as a leader of the process, yeah, because it's not easy. Like a professor, it's not easy to manage a group of 10 people or versus other group of 20 people. So it's more like that, and also because the resistance of the leadership. Because when you have this core team, these are people that are take off from the normal responsibility. Yeah, and when you request more employees from the company, it's possible that you are going to have more resistance, yeah, to allow you to run the Kaikaku or the Kaizen event. As more resources you request, more risk that the leadership, has more resistance on that part.
Okay, thanks. And maybe one more question. Yeah, so you said at one point that very often people, even though you recommend starting with Kaikaku, people want to start with Kaizen events and then move up. So how often do people want to go even smaller and start with Kaizen Teian, then Kaizen events, then Kaikaku? What do you say in that
Yeah,
circumstance?
it is the more often, really, in my experience. Yeah, I'm talking from my experience. Is the more common to see the company just focus on smaller activities. Yeah, and it's not bad. Yeah, because at the end are improvement. So the only point is that my recommendation is to change the flow in order to have more impact, and to achieve in a more quickly way the transformation really journey that you are looking for. Because at the end, the Kaizen and the Kaizen event are very nice, are needed, are good because you are going to improve. But in order to get the real transformation, the cultural change, I can tell you that the best formula for me has been that starting with Kaikaku really, but honestly, leadership, a lot of people prefer to start step by step. A lot of people say, I think that is less risk involved when you start a step, by step. But in both scenarios, you have risk. The problem is, that you need to create the momentum, yeah, to allow the continuous improvement journey. This is my opinion.
Okay. Well, very good. Well, Albanesa, thank you so much for doing the additional presentation in English today. Thank you also for doing the presentation in Spanish on December 8th. I hope we'll keep working to get a good audience for you, and really appreciate this is the first time we've asked a presenter to double present. So thank you for the double effort. We really appreciate it. And thank you for the experiences and the insights that you shared with everybody today. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mark, really, again, for the support and for the opportunity, to be here with you, with your team, talking about a little of my experience, really. So thank you so much for the opportunity. I'm so happy.
Sure. Thanks.